So my project was about I did my project on a century of African American women hair. So um my original thing, like what I was going for at first, I was going to like do the hairstyles myself, but I realized that that was gonna take a lot of work and I didn't know a bunch. So and I was gonna need a lot of help. So then like so then I was like trying to find pictures still. So then we had like our second meeting and I didn't know what to do. So then I just like was gonna do like all the hairstyles that from all those decades they've came back. So I was gonna ask my friends to send me those pictures and so that would still be kind of related to it. But then that didn't work either because I was running out of time. So instead I just looked up the pictures and made like a collage of that basically. But what I liked about it was finding like information behind those hairstyles and why they were important and how they were different from what was usually in that decade and how they've came back. But the hardest thing would be finding hairstyles in specific decades. But yeah.
Wonderful. Great job. Allison, would you like to go?
Sure. I'll turn my camera on because I'm just gonna show my stuff.
Lovely.
So for my personal project, I want to do like an art thing, and I actually like changed my topic like 3 times because I'm very indecisive. So I started with like doing acrylic paintings, then I switched to doing acrylic paintings with a story, and then finally I decided to make like kind of doll sculptor things inspired by Russian dolls, which are like those rubber face dolls that have like the hard faces and the soft bodies. And so how I did that is I cut the faces off of old stuffed animals, and then I sculpted faces out of polymer clay, and I painted them and I glued them into the faces. So this is the first one I made. It's like a little cat. Before I did this, I've never really sculpted anything before. So, and I kind of just like going into things without knowing how to do it. So I didn't what I was doing, and I got frustrated with the painting because I'm very impatient and I don't like waiting for paint to dry. So I ended up just drawing the face with like a paint pen. And then this is the second one I made. I tried to like make it goofy by giving it like a goofy face. Um, and I think throughout them, like you how that they got better or like I just tried something new. And I feel like on this one, the paint job, I didn't give up. And also the clay is a bit smoother. And I think this might be one of my favorites. It's a frog I got from Goodwill. And I think it's fun. This one took a bit longer because I didn't look at any reference pictures of frogs. So I just kind of did it in my head. So it took a while to make it actually look like a frog. But I really like this one. I think it's really cute. But I accidentally made the face too small. So I had to troubleshoot that and fix that. And then I made this bear, which is also from Goodwill. And I inspired the face off like a Care Bear because I have some of those plushies, and I don't know, it's boring. And this one's my favorite. It's a little penguin I made, and I think you can definitely tell that I improved by this one because the clay I think is really smooth and the paint job is good, and I like it. I think it's good. Thank you.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
No, thank
Very
you
nice.
for
Can you
sharing.
hold the penguin up a little bit higher?
Hmm.
Can we see the bottom of it, like the feet?
Yeah.
Oh, cute. Very nice. Good job.
Love that you're passionate about it. Natalie, you've been patient. Are you ready to go?
Yeah. doesn't have any sound, but this is just like showing the ingredients I used. And this is to make the dough. So I like combined the vegetable oil, the sugar, the salt, and some water. And then you add 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And then you start with the KitchenAid. And then you cover it for 30 minutes. And that went by pretty fast, but it basically said a cup of parsley and half an onion and 4 garlic cloves. And then you put that with the sauteed ground beef and add a tablespoon of allspice and smoked paprika. And then you start rolling out the dough after it's been sitting and add a little flour so that it's not so that it rolls well. And then after that, you're going to cut the dough into like little oval shapes. So then you can fill your meat mix into the little oval shapes of dough. And then you put it into little tortellini shape. It's kind of hard to film this part, so it's not the best positions. But after that, you're gonna put it on. You're gonna fold them in half. I'll show that too. It's a really bad angle. And you're gonna pat the edges so that the meat stays inside, and then you turn it like into little tortellini shapes. That one did not go well. And then you put them on a tray and put it in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for around 10 minutes till they're like golden brown. And then you combine yogurt, cornstarch, salt, and 2 cups of water. And then you're going to put this on medium heat until it starts to thicken and boil. And then after that, you are going to chop up a whole head of garlic. It sounds like a lot, but that's what the recipe calls for. You like slice it really thinly. Slice it really thin, and then you put olive oil in a pan and 3 tablespoons of dried mint, and then you arrange it, and you're done. And something I learned from the project was I didn't realize like how time consuming it is to make food, especially like cutting the garlic really thin was kind of took a while, and making it into shapes, that was very interesting. I had a hard time filming that because all of them turned out bad except like a couple of them. So I had to be really careful about the ones I chose and stuff. But I learned I was originally gonna do the project with a friend and her mom who are from Syria, but they like couldn't really meet up because of COVID, and they ended up moving to Noblesville. So we just it didn't really work out. But her mom was gonna teach me how to make them. That was the original idea, but she gave me a recipe. So then I just used the recipe, and my mom helped me a little bit because my dad at our church, he has this little partnership with Arab Baptist Theological Seminary, which is basically like helps Middle Eastern Lebanese kids at like their school with learning and supplies and stuff like that. So he usually goes to Lebanon like every year, but obviously because of COVID we couldn't either. But so since my mom has sometimes gone with him, like she's also kind of like learned some recipes and information about their culture a little bit, so she was able to help me with some of the techniques as well. So that was helpful too. But yeah, I felt like it was kind of a different kind of thing that I wouldn't have done normally, because I'm not that good of a cook. because I'm kind of impatient and I take my time with things usually. So I probably wouldn't find the time to do it. And it was kind of interesting to read the recipe from someone um, whose grandmother taught her the recipe. Like it was a very like authentic recipe, and it was within her family that she learned it. So it was kind of interesting to just like also learn some of the culture and the background behind the recipe as well.
Lovely. Great job.
Yeah, very good.
Well, I think that's everybody. Anything from my fellow cohort teachers here?
Not really. Like I said earlier, I do have one link from one of my students, so I guess I will send that to you as an email probably and post that somewhere.
Perfect.
Thank you to the students that presented today. I appreciate your hard work. They were very interesting.
Yeah, thank you to the students that presented. Some really cool stuff. I like seeing the art and I love seeing the cooking, especially when you do it, you kind of figure out it's not as easy as, hey mom, what's for dinner? There's some stuff and some work behind it.
All right, everybody. Have a lovely evening. Thank you again for participating. Great job.
All right, bye-bye, y'all.
Bye.